0-0. What's your thoughts on it?
I'm always an optimist and always try to focus on the positive things. So it's good keeping another clean sheet. I think against an opponent that has been very good offensively and scored an abundance of goals in their few games they've had this year. So I think for us to stimulate that offense is something to be proud of and good. On the flip side, obviously we're at home, and when there is such a decent defensive performance, can you somehow capitalize it and get 3 points, and we didn't tonight. But 3 home games, 0 goals against is a good thing and something to build on.
Is there anything that you do as the game progresses as a keeper to kind of get ready for another kind of kick save that you have to do to make sure that you get that clean sheet? Like that inevitable.
You just try to stay involved because that's the thing, right? I mean, especially when you look at soccer in the world, like the biggest clubs, the goalkeepers never really get called on a lot. So it's very difficult to be ready for that one moment in the 85th minute or whenever it may be. But it's everything leading up to that to try to make sure that you don't get caught off guard, so to speak. When that moment arrives. So you do everything you can, because my job is not just to save the ball. My job is to try to communicate and organize and get everybody's morale back up when we're a little bit. And it's all those things. And then I think all those staying involved that way with all those things kind of make sure that you never really get removed from the game and you're ready when that hopefully ready when that ball comes.
How did you guys feel playing up from the back today? It was something that got talked about a lot during the week. Do you think that was successful? LAFC's press was obviously there.
Mm-hmm. I think it was successful for the most part, because we didn't, let's say the bad word, we didn't give away the ball badly in the back, because I think they feed off of that, right? They press high to try to make you cough up the ball, do essentially all the work for them, and then they just score while they're already in dangerous positions. So considering that, I think we read those presses well. There's moments where we did play out of the back, whether it was playing to center backs or we found the secondary with the outside backs, when there was times when we played long. Like I always said, you have to have a good mix, because if you just do one thing, teams will just key in on that, and that's the end of it. So considering that it was good, I think the one thing we need to do is we somehow ran out of juice again a little bit, and I think it's probably because we were, unfortunately, it was going back and forth, and we found ourselves on the wrong side of that, defending a lot, then trying to counter, then kind of giving the ball away, unfortunately, too quickly, having to run back again and counter, and so we ran out of juice, and then it makes it difficult to play out of the back, right? That's, for me at least, you assess, do you really want to play balls into dangerous positions to tired players, right? Especially after we had done so well defensively, I thought that was not worth it today.
There was a game until about the 35th minute, and then the yellow card started, the foul started. How do you feel your team, kind of dealt with that? And you were obviously involved in some of this.
Yeah, it's good. I think the aggressiveness, especially at home, and is important. You need that. I think the one thing that at halftime that I wanted to make sure we understood was that it cannot turn into something emotional, and you got to keep that in check. And a good example, I think, is one of the free kicks they have in the first half, where we are too focused on the referee and whatnot, and they play a short ball quickly, catch us off guard, and it leads to a dangerous situation. Those are just moments where aggressiveness is good, but it has to be kept in check. So I think that's also the job of the referee, though, to make sure that the game flows a little better. But both teams were aggressive, and it was because it's a big game. It's a big game, and that's why you saw a lot of tackles and a lot of cards flying out today.
What does it mean to you to have 3 shutouts out of already only 4 games this season?
Good. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the team for working on some things that we were not happy with last year. And to give such a response early on in the season is nice. It's something to build on, because if now the rest of the season tanks, then it didn't really matter. But it's a really good statement, I think, for everybody on the outside, but also especially for us, for ourselves. I've always said that shutouts are very fragile, and it takes all 11 players defensively to buy and to really be able to achieve such a feat. And we're so far 3 out of 4 and only 1 goal on the other one, so it's something to build on. Good.
You talked some this week about the injury you dealt with at the end of last season. We've seen you, I noticed a few times today, but throughout the season so far, you coming out and collecting crosses and loose balls. How physically are you feeling so far this year?
I feel great. I feel very good. You know, people always give the response, "I've never felt better." I'm 36 years old now. I'd be lying if I said I feel better now than I felt when I was 18. But I feel maybe the right way would be to say is I've never felt stronger. You know, I've really tried to utilize the long off season to get more mass, get more strength. I think my kicking has increased in range. My explosion off of a single leg has improved. Those are, you know, things that we see in training and things that I feel, especially after so many years playing it. So I'm very happy that I can add to my game at a later age in my career, so later stage in my career. I'm feeling good, feeling great.
As far as the not being able to get a goal for you guys, what did you see from your perspective that maybe LAFC was doing, or you know, what was the struggle, I guess, in getting a goal for you?
I don't know yet. I think I'll have to look at the footage a bit and see. I mean, I think we had some good chances in the first half, in particular. Second half, I think, like I said, I think it turned into a bit of a back and forth, and we kind of lost that back and forth, and that's why I think we had to expend a lot of energy, and then because of that, our possession suffered because guys were not. You know, you can't make that extra couple of yards to open up, and it's too dangerous now to do things that maybe before were feasible or worthy of the risk, you know, and so that forces a little bit more into the defensive shell, I think. Having said that, still, you know, the guys that came in, you know, Freddie's up there and he's hungry. He's like, play the ball, let's go, let's get this goal, and I appreciate that because, you know, we want to win at home. He wants to score. We want him to score. But you also have to take into consideration the big picture and making sure that, you know, yes, if there's a possibility of winning, there's also a possibility of losing. And you assess all those risks and play accordingly. And, you know, probably a fair result, 0-0 in the end.
What was it like to see Obed get out there too? I think that's everybody, right, as far as the ones that came back from injury. I mean, so you kind of have a full healthy squad.
Yeah, very happy to see Joao playing and not having any, you know, issues. Also, I think we're easing Raul back into it now. A start for him and exit it with no problems. Very good. Just told him in the showers, like, you know, we still have 31 games or what to play. So this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. I mean, we need all our players to be available to be able to be successful. Obed, same thing. You know, we saw what he was able to bring last year early on, and then obviously we lost him. Yeah. Also, it helps in training. You know, competition. We have lots of good players, and at times we're stacked in certain positions, and competition leads to better play usually for both players, and which ultimately helps the team improve.